some fun. Tune in late at night or tune in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for today. Nizwa University study in Oman detect rare strain of coronavirus. People over 65 years of age to be vaccinated from Sunday in Oman. Expat recruitment fee hike won't hurt economy of Oman. Tender board awards projects worth more than 15 million Omani riyals. Former ECB chief Draghi appointed to form Italy's new government. 1 killed, 70 hospitalized due to ammonia leak in the Philippine capital. Russia's Sputnik 5 COVID vaccine highly effective, new studies show. Back to training, Rahane enjoys net session at Chipok. Everyone was ruthless, says Solskjaer as United thrashed Southampton 9-0. Those were the headlines. Now let's take a look at the weather update.
Hi, my name is Meitha Edshukeli for today's weather update. And right now, I'm outside the TFM studio in Al Khuwair. Before we move on to weather, here is our fact for the day. 80% of the world's fresh water is now locked up as either ice or snow. That is our fact for the day. Now let's step inside the studio and talk more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities saying that there will be poor visibility during fog formation and there will be mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate with chances of early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the part of Al-Wusta, North Sharqiyya, South Sharqiyya, Ad-Dakhiliyya and Al-Dhahira. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 24 to 17 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 25 to 16 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 24 to 16 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 25 to 17 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 29 to 16 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be sunny, temperatures between 28 to 14 degrees Celsius. Ad-Dakhiliyya will be sunny, temperatures between 27 to 14 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 27 to 14 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 17 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 27 to 16 degrees Celsius. And the Far will also be partly cloudy, temperatures between 26 to 15 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Let's take a look at the local stories. A rare strain of COVID-19 has been detected in Oman thanks to efforts taken to map the genetic sequences of variants in the country. The project, which was jointly undertaken by the University of Nizwa and the Ministry of Health, looked at 94 samples of the virus taken from patients in the country. Its results have now been published in the International Journal of Infectious Diseases. P323L is the most common mutation of the virus, found in 94.7% of samples studied, followed by the D614G spike protein mutation, present in 92.6%. A unique mutation, 1280V, was first reported in Oman and was associated with a rare lineage B.1.113, found in only 10.6% of samples. Headed by Al-Harasi, the research team from the University of Nizwa included Dr. Abdul Latif Khan, Dr. Sajid Asif, Dr. Majid Al-Salmani, and Ahmed Al-Rawahi. Costs to cover expenses related to the project were received through a grant from the University of Nizwa. The Ministry of Health, which conducted the study through its Central Public Health Laboratories and the Epidemiological Surveillance Department of the Directorate General of Diseases and Control, was represented by Dr. Saif Salam Al-Abri, Dr. Samira Hamad Al-Maharouki, Dr. Amina Khalfan Al-Jardani, Dr. Samia Rashid Al-Kharusi, Dr. Hanan Salam Al-Kindi, and Dr. Adil Saeed Al-Wahebi. The number of full genome sequences of coronavirus samples that have been successfully deposited by the Sultanate in the global database has reached 203, said the ministry in a statement. This reflects the potential of qualified Omanis in the capacity as well as the availability of the most advanced techniques in gene sequencing in the country. Samples were selected based on epidemiological characteristics that represent various cluster types, geographical location, and nationality, said the report. The epidemiological investigation was conducted by public health teams throughout the country who fed data into a national electronic database. The study selected patients based on a number of considerations, including age group, nationalities, severity of illness, infection date, places of travel and residence, and others. The research team included molecular biologists, epidemiologists, and bioinformaticians, the NMSRC, and the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health will on Sunday launch a campaign targeting a new segment of society as part of its COVID-19 national immunization drive using Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The campaign will target people aged 65 plus in all governorates of the Sultanate, irrespective of whether they are healthy or not. The vaccine will be given at designated immunization centers. The 2-dose vaccine will be given in intervals of 4 weeks. Last Saturday, the Sultan received a total of 100,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine from India, where the medicine was produced at Serum Institute. Oman's Minister of Health has thanked the government of India for delivering 100,000 vaccines at no charge to help with the country's coronavirus vaccination drive. The AstraZeneca vaccines have undergone clinical trials to ensure they were safe to use on humans. The vaccines were handed over to Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi by Manu Mahavar, the ambassador of India to Oman. People who already received the first dose of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine will not be given the current vaccine. The Ministry of Health will announce the date of application for the second dose of Pfizer-BioNTech later. Increasing expat recruitment fees in Oman will not negatively affect the local economy and the amount of foreign investment coming into the country, the Undersecretary for Labour at the Ministry of Labour, Nasser Al-Hosni, has said. Al-Hosni said that despite the increase in cost to companies, the fee to hire an expatriate worker in Oman is still lower compared to its neighbouring countries. The decision was taken over the past few months after taking into account the minimum wages and the departure of expatriate workers, he said. After we came to see these decisions, we moved on to concerning the changes of job titles. Only then did we announce a decision on increasing the fees to obtain permits for expatriates in supervisory, senior, and technical roles. We made this decision because we believe there are Omanis who are capable of carrying out these works, added the Undersecretary. We are now talking about a free market for employment and have given the private sector freedom to announce job openings and choose applicants based on the salaries they are able to pay. While speaking to Shabiba FM, he said, "We tell the private sector and other employees hiring workers registered in the National Manpower Registry that employing an experienced and qualified Omani worker on these posts will turn out to be less expensive compared to expatriate workers." The Undersecretary added that the decision taken by the government to prioritize employment for its own citizens were in keeping with the practices followed by other countries to employ their own nationals first. Nasser Al-Hosni also addressed the concerns of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which said the increase in expatriate recruitment fees would have an undesirable effect on the economy. He said that all decisions by the ministry had been after consultation with the OCCI and other relevant bodies involved in the running and planning of the national economy. Responding to suggestions from the OCCI for the fee increase to take place in 2022, Al-Hosni said the following. The decision on increasing fees to recruit expatriate workers will take place 90 days after the date of its issuance. We remain in continuous contact with all parties to hear any suggestions they may have in this context. The tender board awarded projects worth more than 15 million riyals during its meeting held under the chairmanship of Dr. Syed Mohammad Al Sakri, Minister of Economy, Chairman of the tender board. The tenders, which range from medical supplies and computer systems to development projects and services benefiting the public, were distributed as follows. Procurement of medical supplies and blood transfusion apparatus, it stood at 6,248,219. Supply of computer systems for school students from families benefiting from Social Security Scheme, 3,499,925. Supply of medicine to the Royal Hospital, 1,358,040. Supply of surgical equipment for dialysis units in health establishments under the Ministry of Health, 409,493 Omani Riyals. Maintenance services and spare parts for medical equipment at the Royal Hospital, Omani Riyals 895,796. Renewal of tenancy contract for the courts complex in the Wilayat of Al-Seed, 226,800 Omani Riyals. Additional works for the tender and designing consultancy services and supervision of Al Rustaq Slope Dual Carriageway, the Governorate of South Al Batana, 122,655 Omani Riyals. Additional works for the tender and designing consultancy services and supervision of Al Saada Sports Complex Expansion Project, Dhofar Governorate, 45,000 Omani Riyals. Additional works for the tender on setting up a fish market at the fishing port in Al Seep, 196,341 Omani Riyals. Additional works for the tender on designing consultancy services and supervision of a project to set up a fishing port in the Vilayat of Kuryat, 8,954 Riyals. Additional work for the internal tender on consultancy services and training for projects department of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, 24,252 Riyals. Contract with Eutelsat for renting space area for exchange and transmission of the cultural channel from Salalah to Muscat and the dissemination of the Earth Station's television digital transmission program, 1,039,000 Omani Riyals. Renewal of contract for radio and television transmission via Nilesat, 1,155,000 Omani Riyals. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with our international stories.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Coming up are the international stories. Former chief of European Central Bank or ECB, Mario Draghi, was appointed to form Italy's new government, the office of President Sergio Mattarella said on Wednesday. This morning, the President of the Republic has received Professor Mario Draghi, to whom he has assigned the task of forming a new government, Secretary General of the Italian President, Ugo Zampetti, told a press conference. His announcement came after Mattarella and Draghi held talks for over 1 hour at the Quirinale Presidential Palace. As anticipated by Mattarella on Tuesday evening, Draghi will be tasked with forming a new non-political cabinet to lead Italy in the next crucial months through the challenges of the ongoing pandemic and the efforts for an economic recovery. The appointment came after exploratory talks to recompose the previous government failed on Tuesday. 1 person died and 70 others were hospitalized on Wednesday afternoon due to an ammonia leak from an ice plant and cold storage in the Philippine capital of Manila. Navata City Mayor Toby Tiangco said he sent Bureau of Fire Protection personnel to the area immediately to help evacuate the affected residents around the plant. We are verifying reports that some residents were directly sent to the hospital, he said in a social media post. Tiangco said the leak has stopped and the damaged valve was repaired. It will take 2 to 3 hours before the foul smell subsides, he added. He said the lone fatality is a male employee of the plant. The man died at a local hospital. Many of the residents in the affected area told local media that some residents fainted after inhaling the foul smell coming from the plant. Residents complained of chest pains and difficulty in breathing. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigerant or coolant for manufacturing purified tube ice. The Russian vaccine Gamma-COVID-Vac, also known as Sputnik 5, is 91.6% effective against symptomatic COVID-19, a phase 3 trial has shown. The preliminary results from this crucial final round of testing were published in the prestigious medical journal The Lancet on Tuesday. The findings are based on data from nearly 20,000 people who participated in the study in 25 hospitals and clinics in Moscow from September through November 2020. Participants received an initial shot of either the vaccine or a placebo and then a booster shot 21 days later. Of the 14,964 people in the vaccine group, only 16 had developed symptomatic cases of COVID-19 after receiving the second shot of the vaccine. This compares to 62 infected people in the 4,902 strong placebo group. PCR tests for the coronavirus were conducted at screening on the day participants received the booster shot and if they reported symptoms of a respiratory infection. Researchers at Russia's Gamaleya National Research Center for Epidemiology and Microbiology, where Sputnik 5 was developed, say they are happy with the results. Those were the international stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with the sports news.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Now for some sports stories. India's Test vice captain Ajinkya Rahane on Wednesday had a hit in the nets ahead of the upcoming 4-match Test series against England. Rahane shared a video on Twitter in which he can be seen batting against new bowlers Saurabh Kumar and K. Gautam. Back to training, Rahane wrote as the caption. In the video, Rahane can be seen playing shots both on the back foot and the front foot. The Virat Kohli-led Indian squad had their first outdoor training session on Monday ahead of the first test against England. After registering a comprehensive 9-0 win over Southampton in the Premier League, Manchester United coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hailed the ruthless aggression displayed by his side. With this win, United consolidated its position at the second spot in the Premier League standings, and the side is now tied up with top-placed Manchester City. Both teams now have 44 points. As a result of the 9-0 win, United equaled the feat for largest margin of victory in the Premier League. United had earlier set the record in 1995 with a 9-0 win over Ipswich Town. Leicester City equaled the record in October 2019 after beating Southampton by the same margin. Southampton got off to the worst possible start as Alexander Jankwitz was shown a straight red card for a nasty challenge on Scott McTominay. In the first half, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Marcus Rashford, Edison Cavani and Jad Bednarek's own goal made it 4-0. United did not let the momentum drop in the second half as the final 45 minutes saw 5 more goals being scored to hand the side a marvellous victory. Sometimes when you play 10, they sit behind and defend well. We switched it from side to side, got in behind, some good movements. We played it the way we had to, said Solskjaer. United will next square off against Everton in the Premier League on Saturday. Those are the local stories, the international stories, and the sports news. We'll be back with midday updates, so stay tuned.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.